Redeeming Grace, pilot, like sharks and cockroaches, created and written by WL Gorman. Super, Ottawa, Ontario, the near future, fade in, a montage. Night, in the subdued glow of streetlights, we see a bridge over the Rideau Canal. A couple is strolling over the bridge, hand in hand. We see their happy faces. The bridge explodes. Night, in the dim light on a country road, there's a large truck parked on the shoulder, surrounded by several shadowy figures. There's no sound. One of the shadowy figures pulls the truck driver out of the cab and throws him to the ground. He and his cohorts begin to stomp on the driver mercilessly. One of the figures points a weapon at the driver. In the darkness, there are several flashes of a weapon being fired. Day, in the city, in a large glass window of a former small business, a sign says, Polling Station 8. Two motorcycles pull up and stop in front of the station, each carrying two men with their faces hidden. One of the motorcycle duos dismounts quickly with machine pistols drawn and provides security, while the passenger on the other motorcycle throws what looks like a satchel through the window, smashing it. Both teams then mount up and drive away. All is silent until the building explodes and flames begin to engulf the building. The camera pans slowly to the right and we see several people lying on the ground, inert. As it continues to pan, we see a powered wheelchair lying on its side. Lying beside it is an elderly woman, face up, motionless. Her hair is singed and her face is bloodied. Day. A couple are jogging down a pathway. As they round a path, their faces turn quickly from normal to surprise to horror. On a large piece of plywood, a naked, white-skinned man has been mounted like a butterfly. He is upside down and his legs and arms are splayed, forming an X. He's been beaten and battered and crucified to the board. He is dead. Over his groin is a hand-painted sign, Infidel Rapist. Night. Through a sniper's night scope, we see a man sitting at a desk in a window. The scope's reticule aiming pattern is steadied on the man's head. A finger tightens on the trigger of the sniper's rifle. A shot is fired. Night. A company jet lands on a runway and we see the name on the control tower, Ottawa International Airport. Night. At an isolated hangar in a remote part of the airfield, the company jet stops on an apron behind a hangar. Just below the pilot's window are the words Crossbow Inc. Night. At a walled compound, two black SUVs pass through a wrought iron gate and approach a 3-story brick building. When the vehicles stop, 9 men and a woman get out and immediately check their surroundings. They are alert, but not tense. Montage ends. Interior, the command post, morning. The Ontario Security Element Command Post's briefing room has a lectern on which is a nameplate. James Young, Command Post Director. At the lectern, Young is looking at a large screen on which is an attractive woman, 60s, gray hair, stylishly dressed. At the bottom of the screen, the woman is identified as Carolyn Marcus, Interim Premier of Ontario.
That concludes my statement. I'll take a couple of questions.
Marcus points.
We know that the assassination of the Minister of Justice is a source of personal grief for you, but is this going to delay the referendum?
Let me be clear. James Douglas's death will not delay the referendum process. This government will never accede to the actions of assassins or anyone else.
But is the security element really capable of supporting the process and protecting the people of this province?
The security element will get stronger as time goes on. In the meantime, I've made the decision to hire security specialists from a private company. 2 of those teams are located here in Ottawa.
We have sources who said that the company in question, Crossbow Incorporated, hires ex-IRA and it is raised former special forces operators from various countries, including Canada.
Would you rather have former school teachers? Perhaps ex-nuns?
That's rather irresponsible, Madame Premier.
Look, your responsibility ends with the filing of your story. My responsibility for everything continues until I'm no longer in office.
But mercenaries?
Call them what you will, but understand this. To give more muscle to our policing effort, I have authorized the hiring of a trained, experienced professionals. I will be accountable for that decision.
But
no one could have foreseen the collapse of our country and the resultant rise of crime and terrorism. The war in the Arctic took everyone by surprise. I'm not asking anyone to forget what happened in the past. I'm simply asking all of you, the citizens of this province, to participate in the future. Vote at referendum time. Thank you.
Marcus turns and walks away from the podium. Interior, the command post, continuous. Sitting in front of Young are 9 men and 1 woman in civilian clothes. They all look fit. Some of them are well-groomed and look normal. Others bear scars and look like a bar fight about to happen. One of the latter is Carl Faustin, early 40s, beard stubble, and mean-looking.
So this is who is in charge? An old woman?
This old woman is more than capable of getting us out of troubled waters.
Troubled waters. Why do you sugarcoat it? This country is drowning.
Faustin, right?
Carl Faustin, head of Rapier team.
I suggest, Faustin, that you keep your disparaging remarks to yourself while we're employing you.
As you wish, Herr Director.
Young looks at Stephen Grace.
Stephen Grace, right? Leader of Saber Team?
Stephen Grace is in his late 30s and clean-shaven.
Yes.
I understand that it's welcome home for you, and Proudman, Krieger, and Essery.
Ankelon Wolf Proudman, Martina Marty Krieger, and Bobby Essery.
Canadians. Pussies. Except for you, Bobby.
Wolf Proudman is a large, fit Aboriginal man in his 30s who carries himself with pride and dignity, but with the threat of physical aggression if pushed.
Don't take no pussy to flinch at children being orphaned by terrorists. Never thought I'd see it here at home.
You're kind of soft for an Indian warrior, aren't you, Chief?
Name's Wolf Proudman, not Chief.
And what is it that you're proud of then?
That I'm Canadian ex-Special Forces and not failed Foreign Legion like you, Faustin.
Ruffle the feathers in your headdress a little.
Faustin purses his lips and blows Proudman a kiss. Proudman ignores him.
If you don't mind, questions.
Martina Marty Krieger is early 30s, above average height, no apparent makeup, and not knockout gorgeous, but certainly not unattractive.
Marty Krieger. Was the truck hijack a math heist?
I knew your father, Krieger. He was a good cop.
Yes, he was.
We don't know if it was the mom. The investigation has just started.
Ian Shepherd, late 30s, British accent.
Ian Shepherd. So, who are your contenders then?
The same as for everything else. Organized crime, bikers, jihadis, militia fringe. We're working on it.
Are they organized, or do they operate without reference to one another?
We're trying to paint that picture from the few confidential informants that we have.
Gut feel.
Organized, but we have no idea as to how tight it might be or who's in charge.
What motivates these groups? Money? Ideology?
The mob and the bikers are in it for profit. The mob has gambling, extortion, hijacking, and unions. The bikers control drugs, guns, and the sex industry.
And the others?
The jihadis and the white supremacist militia punks seem to be in it for the violence and whatever other mayhem that occurs to them.
Patty Kelly, 30s, red hair, Irish accent.
Has anyone claimed responsibility for the assassination last night?
No, but we're investigating. What was that, Faustin?
I said, I wish you luck.
So you want Saber Team on daytime duty? Rapier gets the night shift and each backs up the other as necessary, right?
For now, yes.
Any changes to our rules of engagement?
No, but listen to me, okay? We've been given considerable latitude to do things that our security element people cannot do. We must not divulge these ROE to anyone. To do so would cause a shitstorm with no survivors.
Ha! People like me always survive.
Like sharks and cockroaches.
Faustin moves towards Kelly. Kelly gets up. Grace steps between them.
Not the time and place, Kelly.
So now you're hiding your IRA ass behind this Canadian pussy.
Ever the charmer, Faustin.
Ah, yes, and now the SAS weighs in.
Anything else?
Yes, only a small number of people who know who you are. Your cover stories as security consultants to the United Nations Referendum Monitoring Team should keep you under the radar, at least for now.
How are your own security people taking this?
I'd like to say that they're all your brothers in arms, but it's been a mixed reaction.
Bobby Essery, late 30s, looks and talks like an accountant, but has an arrogant sense of self just below the surface.
Who cares what the police think?
Grace stares at Essery for a moment.
You haven't changed, Bobby.
I was thinking of doing a personality makeover when I heard that we were to work together again, Steve. But hey, I'm happy with who I am.
Suddenly, an explosion is heard from not too far away.
Everyone stand by!
Young exits while the others wait, some glaring at one another with obvious animosity.
Nothing says welcome to a new country like a big fucking bomb.
So it's true, you're getting a graduate degree from asshole you?
Essery starts toward Shepherd.
Sit down, Bobby. You might get your hair mussed.
Essery glares at Grace. Young returns.
Grace, it's baptism time for you and your team.
End of teaser. Act 1. Interior Command Post briefing room. James Young is pointing at a map.
It's bombing at the old Foreign Affairs building. There was a rally there today. Go get ready and we'll call you with what we have.
Marty, call the pilot and tell him to get to this helicopter and stand by. Wolf, at the ready room, I want you to unlock the weapons locker and get ready to issue equipment.
A second loud explosion is heard in the distance.
Secondary blast. They've targeted the police and emergency responders at the scene. Bad bastard, these.
Exterior, the explosion site, day. Montage. Some people are standing or shuffling around in a stunned, dazed condition. There are police cars and ambulances with sirens and lights. Policemen, EMTs, and civilians are lying on the ground. 6 white men, members of the Free Radicals, quietly move to their cars, get in, and leave the scene. At the bomb scene, a child of 3 is standing over a woman on the ground, in shock, not comprehending. End of montage. Exterior, the steps of a government building, day. The Minister of Security, Alan Flint, is being interviewed by a media scrum. Flint is handsome, poised, and expensively dressed. Standing behind him is Kemper Bello, 40s, large and imposing, and alert to the situation around him. The scene switches between the television screen and live on the steps. Superimposed on the TV screen is Brigadier General, retired Alan Flint, Minister of Security, Interim Government of Ontario.
And the referendum process will succeed even with the significant challenges facing us in the coming weeks. Questions?
Can you tell us why you have contracted mercenaries? Have things gotten so out of control that you need to hire agents to protect the referendum process?
These people are trained and experienced security specialists.
Isn't that simply a euphemism for ex-military and paramilitary thugs who hire themselves out to whomever can afford their expensive price tag?
You characterize them as such, but do you know of any of the individuals who have been hired?
We've heard that one of these individuals, Carl Faustin, was involved in coups in 2 African countries in the past 3 years, and both led to genocides.
He was neither arrested nor tried for any crimes related to the coups.
So you do know something about them?
I know some of the Crossbow people from my time in the Canadian forces.
Canadians. Can you give us names?
It is not our policy to give any information about this contact.
Do they have rules of engagement?
Yes, of course.
Can you tell us what they are?
Sorry, they're classified.
In order to hide their content.
I didn't say that.
I think that the public has a right to know if there are trigger-happy mercenaries roaming at will among us.
May I quote you on that?
Interior, Sabre Team's ready room. Sabre Team is watching Flint's media scrum on a large screen that is frozen on Flint. They are now dressed in black assault gear.
This Flint is prettily packaged for the public. Do you know him, Grace?
Yeah,
And?
what you see is not what he is.
You were with him in the Arctic War.
Pretty much, the whole Canadian Army was involved in that.
So,
So nothing, it's in the past.
Marty walks to the screen and points at the man standing behind Flint.
Who's this?
Kemper
Kemper Bello. Retired chief warrant officer. Worked for Flint in special ops. Tough as titanium nails, mean as a bear in a trap.
What's he doing in this picture?
He's the head of Flint's personal protection unit.
Grace's cell rings. He looks at it and
It's CP.
exterior Sabre Team's ready room, day.
4 civilians, 2 policemen, and 2 emergency responders are confirmed dead. Injured include 10 civilians and 3 policemen. A lot of damage to the buildings. Tactics, Kelly?
No mystery here. In the confusion, they'll slip away. 2 escape routes, pre-planned and rehearsed.
Shepard, your guess at numbers?
small signature and easy to control. I'd say 2 cars, 4 to 6 shipbirds.
Police on the scene got a description of 2 cars leaving the area. A dark green Toyota and a white Ford Escort.
Roads?
My best guess are those 2 parkways.
There's only 1 chopper available. We can only do 1 properly.
Grace studies the map, then points.
This road has a stretch that is open here and has no houses close by. We might be able to do something there.
So,
Helicopter group will be Wolf, Marty and myself with sniper rifles. Ground groups will be Shepard and Kelly with carbines.
tasks?
We'll fly directly to the target area and see if we can find them. Shepard and Kelly will go onto the parkway and follow it unless they hear differently from us. We develop things based on what we get. Questions?
There are none.
All right, let's be out of here. RFQ.
Exterior of parkway, day. A green Toyota Corolla moves along a parkway where there is little traffic. Interior, inside the green Toyota. The three men inside the car are male members of the Free Radicals. On the rear floor of the car, we see a blanket with the muzzle end of a rifle sticking out.
That should put the fear of the bejesus into the fucking government and the police lackeys.
How many do you think we killed?
At least 2 cops went down hard, and I'm guessing maybe 10 to 12 civilians.
Ooh-wee, yeah.
That's enough! Let's just get ourselves back to the safe house, and then you can spot off all of that anti-Southland bullshit to your heart's content.
You going soft on us, man? Losing your fervor?
Look, just stay alert until we're done.
Hey, screw you, man. Ain't no one raining on my parade today. No one!
Interior, a helicopter in the air, day. Grace is up front with the pilot, Atticus Beale. In the rear, with doors open on both sides, are Wolf and Marty, weapons ready. Everyone has earphones on.
Atticus, out there at 10 o'clock is an open area on the parkway. I want to get on the eastern side of it, hover and face west.
Atticus nods and the helicopter moves forward. Exterior, on the ground on the parkway, day. A dark-colored SUV moves along the parkway. Interior, the SUV of Saber's ground group, day. Kelly is driving with Shepard in the passenger seat. They are constantly scanning their arcs, alert, looking for what may be out there. Interior, the office of Caroline Marcus, day. Caroline Marcus is talking with her chief of staff, Alexis Hood, a dark-haired, elegant, beautiful woman in her mid-30s.
I have a favor to ask of you, Alex. My schedule being what it is, I need you to welcome the Crossbow team on my behalf as my chief of staff.
Please, Caroline, anything but that.
You're still not on board with this?
I'm not a fan of these people. The whole idea of guns for hire in our country makes me nervous.
Why?
Feels like what I think the Wild West must have been like, everyone carrying a gun, everyone a law unto themselves.
I admit that it is unsettling, and all this turmoil and crime that has hit us is, in my mind, enough justification for augmenting our security capability.
Hire more police.
In time we will, but right now, being a policeman is not the most attractive career prospect.
Sorry, Caroline, I'm still not convinced.
All right, perhaps you'll change your mind in time. Please tell Stephen Grace that I will welcome him and his people in person as soon as I can.
Interior, the helicopter in the air, day. The helicopter is in a low hover in front of some trees, just to the left side of the parkway. Grace is looking through a set of binoculars. Wolf and Marty are scanning their arcs. When each speaks, it's on an internal radio.
I don't see anything in the open ground. Can you pop up another 10 feet, Atticus? I want to see where the parkway disappears in the wood line down at the far end.
The helicopter rises, then hovers. Grace looks through his binoculars again.
Still nothing. All right, let's check in with the ground group. Shepard, your situation, over.
Mobile, estimate 15 to 20 minutes to objective.
Right. We are static at eastern edge, up objective, looking for target, out.
Grace is looking out the front of the helicopter with his binoculars.
The good news is that the traffic down there is minimal. The bad news is that we may have picked the wrong route.
He starts to scan with his binoculars again.
At least we got to do a bit of shakeout on our first day.
Yeah, I just wish... Whoa, I think that's them. Just broke the tree line at the far end.
As Wolf and Marty look through their sniper scopes, Grace keys his external radio.
Contact, green Toyota, western edge of target area. Wait, out.
Grace looks down the road in the direction of the Toyota, thinking.
What's it gonna be, Steve?
Interior, the green Toyota, day. The green Toyota is just coming out of a stretch of treed parkway. As it brakes out into the open, it is still doing the speed limit.
Okay, be alert, you two. I don't like it out here in the open.
Relax, man. Inside a half hour, we'll be at the safe house, making friends with the 2-4.
Until we're there, do your job and stay alert.
Goddamn girl guy.
Intercut radio conversation between helicopter and SUV.
Shepard, target is moving towards us. How long to objective?
5 to 7 minutes.
Then we will have to initiate action. When you get to the western side of the open area, be prepared to block the target if they turn back toward you.
Understood.
Atticus, I want you to turn sideways and let Marty get off a few tracer rounds in front of the Toyota. Let's see how they react.
The helicopter turns sideways, and Marty fires several tracer rounds that land a little ways in front of the Toyota. Interior, the green Toyota on the parkway, day. The Toyota driver sees the tracer rounds and pulls off the parkway onto the grass, then shouts something at the other two. Free Radical 1 pulls out a portable radio and speaks into it. The driver then starts to head back towards where he came from. Interior, Sabre SUV on the parkway, day. The SUV is stopped on the western side of the parkway, just on the edge of the wood line. Shepard and Kelly are outside of the vehicle in prone positions.
Grace, target is headed back towards us. Are we go for engage?
Yes, but first see if you can scare him into giving it up.
Shepard and Kelly open up automatic fire at the Toyota, but not directly on target. The Toyota swerves and heads off the parkway onto the open grass area, trying to get away. Interior, the helicopter hovering, day.
Action is back to us, Shepard. Hold firm and cut off for now. Out. Atticus, get into hover directly over the top of the Toyota. Wolf and Marty, if they fire at us, I want immediate return fire. Full bore. If not, once we're over them, both of you fire into the engine block, and we give them a chance to give it up. Questions?
Silence. Montage. The helicopter dips forward and flies down the parkway towards the Toyota. When it gets over the top, Wolf and Marty each fire a round into the hood of the Toyota. The car stops. For a few seconds, nothing happens. Then a white cloth is seen waving from the passenger side of the window. The helicopter backs off slowly and lowers. Wolf and Marty jump to the ground, faces covered by goggles and masks, weapons aimed, and they move towards the car tactically. When the free radicals exit the car, they put their hands behind their heads, then kneel. Interior, Sabre SUV, day. Shepard and Kelly set up watch in both directions along the parkway. Exterior, the parkway, day. A white Ford Escort arrives just out of sight of Shepard and Kelly, and two men pile out of it and start to engage the helicopter with a machine gun. We see the tracer rounds. Interior, the helicopter in the air, day. Machine gun rounds ping off the fuselage. The helicopter goes into a slow spin.
Whoa, well, losing hydraulics. I have to set her down.
Evasive action.
Oh, not possible.
Rounds continue to ping off the fuselage.
Get it down as quick as you can. Atticus, we're fish in a barrel here.
More rounds make contact with the helicopter, and Wolf's body suddenly snaps back. End of Act 1. Act 2, exterior, Grace's helicopter, day. The helicopter is streaming black smoke and is in a slow spin. Tracer rounds from the bad guy's machine gun continue to ping off the helicopter. Interior, Grace's helicopter, day. Marty is checking on Wolf, looking for wounds. Wolf's head rights itself.
Trying to cop a feel, Marty.
Marty smiles, then keys her radio.
Steve, Wolf is alright. His vest took the impact.
That's good. Atticus, any way you can stabilize so I can return fire?
Sorry, Steve. Hydraulics aren't responding.
Suddenly, we hear a loud explosion. Exterior, the parkway, day. The white car is now in flames. Intercut radio conversation. Helicopter, SUV, day.
Shepard, that was you?
We thought it was best to bring along some anti-tank capability as a just in case. Is this going to be a problem?
Not with me.
Exterior, the ambush scene, day. Grace and Sabre team are standing at the helicopter out of direct sight of the police who have arrived.
Hey, Steve. Young's on the radio. He wants to talk to you.
Beale hands the headset to Grace, who puts it on.
Grace,
I understand that your current mission is complete. Someone needs to debrief the police on scene.
we're not going to compromise our identities, Young.
But
Not going to happen. The only police we talk to is you. You'll need to figure this out.
Interior, the office of Alan Flint. Alan Flint sits behind an expensive desk as he talks to Kemper Bellow.
I have two things that cause me concern. The first are these Crossbow teams that Mark has hired.
That bitch is a pain in the ass.
That bitch is smart and has no problem making tough decisions.
Did we turn the dark knights loose on him?
Having a small, loyal team of former special ops soldiers has its advantages. But let's see how things play out for now. Besides, I see that Bob Yessery is on one of the teams.
Your old operations officer from SPEC Op days?
Yeah, Bobby was always ambitious. Let's get him in and see if he's open to having an idea I have.
And the second thing?
Some of our associates seem to be getting ideas that they can do what they want, when they want,
The crucifixion.
and other things. Get them together, remind them that they don't call the shots.
Gentle reminder? Or something with a little more teeth to it.
Let's see some incisors.
Interior, Sabre team's ready room, day. Kelly and Shepard are alone in the team's ready room. They're having a heated discussion.
Your lot couldn't get it right in 3 incarnations of the IR bloody A. All you sods ever knew how to do was lose.
And you and your heroic lads sat in the bushes on the border, waited for our boys to come along, and dropped them from a comfortable distance.
Ah, yes. And they died well, Kelly. What is it that your kind are always fond of saying? Live fast, die young.
And leave a beautiful corpse.
And we were really happy to accommodate them.
Glorified assassins is what you were.
One man's assassin is another man's hero. Besides, what in bloody hell do you know about assassinations?
Exterior, a town in Ireland, day, flashback. Super, Ireland, 23 years ago. A 17-year-old Kelly is on a rooftop with his Uncle Doyle and another gunman, Finn. Below them is a street with a police station and a newspaper office across the street. Several young ladies are having lunch at a table outside the newspaper. The three gunmen are huddled away from the edge of the roof.
Now remember, boys, the bomb in the police station is set to go off in a couple of minutes.
Do we know for certain that the mayor is inside, Doyle?
He is indeed, boyo. Now let's get you into position. If any police come out of the station, your job is to take them out, you understand? Up the army!
Up the army!
Finn moves away.
So here we are, Patrick. A glorious day in a glorious country, and you're about to have your cherry popped. You all right then, Laddiebuck?
Yeah, sure, Uncle Doyle.
All right. Let's have you doing your job now. Crawl over to the edge of the roof. Take up your position. Make us proud, Paddy.
Kelly hesitates.
Come on, Patrick. Over to the edge. Keep watching the police station.
All right.
Kelly crawls over to the edge of the roof and looks down. A look of surprise comes over his face.
No, wait! There are civilians in the blast area, Uncle Doyle. I know one of them girls. Don't let them...
A large explosion. Exterior, the blast scene. A little while later, day. Kelly, now without his weapon, is transfixed, looking at the gruesome results of the bombing. A look of shock on his face. He then slowly turns away from the scene and walks away. Interior, Alexis Hood's office. As Grace enters, he sees a little girl, Julie Hood, reading a children's book at a table. She smiles at him. He smiles back. Grace and Alexis see one another for the first time. Neither expected the other to be attractive, and there's a spark. However, aware of Grace's profession, Alexis is polite but aloof with him.
Mr. Grace?
Grace moves to her desk and offers his hand. She ignores it and motions to him to have a seat.
I have been asked to welcome you on behalf of our premier. She's terribly busy right now, but she intends to talk to you and your team as soon as she can.
Okay.
I understand that you know her from before, when you were the head of her protection team.
Yes.
She was the Canadian Minister of Defense then, and you were with JTF too?
Yes.
An awkward silence. Neither knows what to say. Then,
It's unfortunate that we need added security for this referendum process, but the situation here is not yet stable.
Dangerous.
Sorry.
It's dangerous.
Yes, of course. Do you have any questions, Mr. Grace?
Is the little girl yours?
That's Julie, my daughter.
You and your husband must be very proud.
My husband's dead.
I'm sorry. Might I ask how?
Abducted, tortured, and assassinated.
Why?
Paul was a constitutional lawyer who was working on a blueprint for the eventual reunion of Canada.
Did they find who did it?
No,
Are they actively investigating?
they say they are, but I know that they don't have enough resources to investigate everything.
Who would be the most likely to gain by your husband's death?
Anyone who wanted to unhinge Caroline Marx's plan to reconfederate Canada.
So anyone who is profiting from the chaos and uncertainty that is out there right now?
Are you trying to justify your employment, Mr. Grace?
I assume that you're against our being here.
I am.
Might I ask why?
I've never believed in violence as an answer to anything.
And you would forgive your husband's torturers and assassins if they were standing here right now?
Alexis has no answer to this. Interior, a meeting room, day. The meeting room is in the back of a bar. At the end of a large oval table, Kimber Bello is listening to men around the table who are arguing loudly and aggressively. Suddenly, Bello slams a large fist on the table, making a loud noise. The arguing stops, and everyone looks at Bello.
Sit the Christ down, all of you, now!
Everyone sits, some slowly, just to show a little defiance.
Now that you've all had the opportunity to measure each other's dick size, I'm going to do the talking the rest of the way.
Interior, a room, day. The room has the windows blacked out. Though we can't see their faces, we see 5 men cleaning long-barreled rifles and affixing scopes to the weapons. Interior, a meeting room, day.
The boss man is not happy that you have violated the rules that were laid out for you. We have bikers hijacking trucks when that is mob territory.
Bello looks at a mean-looking character wearing biker colors.
Not good.
Exterior, a biker bar, day. A number of bikers are sitting at tables outside, drinking beer and smoking weed. A shot rings out, and simultaneously one of the bikers' heads explodes in a red mist. Interior, a meeting room, day.
We have mob crews getting into selling guns. That is biker territory.
Bello looks at a man who looks like a mobster.
Not good.
Exterior, a pizza restaurant, day. A number of made men dressed in typical mobster clothing are standing outside the restaurant, smoking and laughing. A shot rings out and simultaneously one of the mobsters' heads explodes in a red mist. Interior, a meeting room, day.
We have white militia maggots trying to stir up shit between themselves and the jihadis by kidnapping and raping Muslim women.
Bello looks at a man who's dressed in jeans, a baseball hat, a plaid shirt, and a jean jacket.
Not good.
Exterior, a barn in a secluded area of the countryside, day. The door of the barn is open. Inside we see two men attending to a large copper still, and two more at a table making what looks like pipe bombs. A shot rings out and simultaneously one of the malicious men's head explodes in a red mist. Interior, a meeting room, day.
We have jihadis castrating and crucifying white men on the parkway on public jogging tracks.
Bello looks at a man who's dressed in Middle Eastern style clothes.
Not good.
Exterior, a mosque, day. A number of Muslim men are coming out of the mosque with prayer rugs and books, talking animatedly. A shot rings out and simultaneously one of the men's heads explodes in a red mist. Interior, a meeting room, day.
And we have free radical college boys doing dope deals when we know that is biker territory.
Bello looks at another man at the table.
Not good.
Exterior, the arts building, university campus, day. A young man is selling marijuana to a group of students. A shot rings out and simultaneously the young man's head explodes in a red mist. Interior, a meeting room, day.
Is everyone listening close? Courtesy of the Dark Knights, when you get back to your people, you're each going to find an exclamation mark to a message that comes from the man in charge. And the message is this: stay out of each other's business and keep the peace between you. Do that, and you all get to do what was agreed upon, and everyone gets to stick it to the government and the police. Fail to comply with this, you and your bosses will pay the price, personally.
Bello gets up, points at all of them, and then turns to leave. End of Act 2. Act 3, Interior, Sabre Team Ready Room, day. The team is having lunch.
So, Grace, what was the previous chief of staff like?
Not a fan of ours.
Oh, then maybe you'll have to mount a charm offensive to win her over.
Not likely to happen.
I hear that she is attractive.
But she can't shoot like you, Marty.
Or rig up a field radio either.
Grace's cell rings. He looks at it.
It's young. Finish eating.
Interior, Sabre Team Ready Room, day.
So, Grace, what are we about to get spocked up for?
You all know that we're nominally employed as security consultants to the UN commission that's monitoring this upcoming referendum.
Now, wouldn't I like to be getting some of that UN pay on top of my contract fees?
Laughter. Grace then points at the map.
The commission is holding a meeting at the War Museum. Early on, a crowd of student activists began to assemble, and it grew as the morning progressed.
And the badasses of the group that was described in our briefing papers?
Same people as this morning, the Free Radicals. They are a hardcore cell of self-styled student anarchists who first surfaced when everything began to come apart after the Arctic War.
Finance and support.
Unknown. Okay, the CB says that the crowd became more violent as the morning wore on, and they're worried about the commission's people inside. They want us to get over there and check it out.
Interior, one of two helicopters over the city, day. Grace, Kelly, Marty, and the pilot, Beale, are in the lead helicopter nearing the target site of the War Museum. The remainder follow in a second helicopter. Everyone is dressed in black assault gear, and their talk is on the internal radio.
Atticus, I'd like to do a slow pass over the top of the target, then hover on the western side. We need to see what's going on down there.
Can do, Skipper.
Okay, everyone, maximum eyes on.
The helicopters move over the site. Grace and the others are scanning the arcs. The helicopters move into a hover.
It looks to me like the northern side has no activity so far. Marty, flip to the police frequency and see if they have anyone inside.
Got it.
I can see a door on the north side of the building.
Seen.
They have a guy inside with the UN people. He says they are holed up in a meeting room, but it won't keep anyone out if they are determined to get in.
Then we need to get them out of there, fast. Confirm 33 UN people?
Yes, and one police officer.
Then get them to move the UN people to that north door and then stand by on our frequency if you can.
Will do.
Okay, everyone, we have 34 people to expedite and not enough helicopter lift. So you have to get them out on foot from that north side door across the open ground to the perimeter fence. If necessary, we'll blow a hole in the fence. Our group will dismount and take care of the evacuees. Shepard and Wolf will cover our move from the air. With me, Shepard?
Acknowledged.
We're setting down now. Take her down, Atticus. Marty, bring some explosives in case that door needs convincing.
Interior, the museum, day. A uniformed policeman, Armishaw, is standing at a door in a hallway with the UN Commission people.
I want everyone to stay away from this door while I talk to some folks. Saber, the door is a deadbolt lock and too heavy to kick open. And hey, we've got noises from somewhere inside the building. Could be trouble coming.
Exterior, the museum north door, day. Grace, Marty, and Kelly are on the other side of the door, outside the building. They are wearing goggles and masks to disguise their identities.
Okay, hang on for a sec. Marty, you'll have to blow it open.
Okay.
Marty reaches into a canvas bag she's carrying.
Listen, we're going to blow the door. Once it's open, one of our people will enter immediately to cover your rear. Move your people out RFQ.
RFQ?
Right fucking quick.
Suddenly, we hear automatic fire. Intercut radio conversation between Shepard and Grace, day.
Grace, you've got troops of shooters coming down both sides of the building towards you. We're taking fire.
Can you suppress the bad guys without affecting civilians?
We'll do it with sniper rifles.
Give us your best. We'll need a few minutes to sort out what we've got here.
Exterior, the War Museum, day. A small explosion takes down the door. Marty pushes through the door and down the hallway to cover the rear of the UN people. Kelly protects the outside as Grace moves inside.
Armishaw.
Yes, good to see you guys. I have one person in severe shock. She needs to be evacuated to a hospital ASAP.
Right.
Intercut radio conversation between Grace, Shepard, and Marty.
Shepard, we're gonna need one flight to do a medevac.
Okay, but here's the situation. I estimate we can hold these people below us for about another 5 minutes max. And I don't think 5 minutes is going to get you across all of that open ground down there.
Right. Marty, what's your situation?
I'm at the junction of two hallways 50 meters from you. There is a lot of noise coming this way, and I'm guessing it ain't the catering service.
Grace?
Give me a sec.
Grace pulls out a diagram of the War Museum. As he studies it, his eye is caught by something.
Kelly, the building diagram shows a small circle about 30 feet straight out from the door.
Exterior, the back lot of the War Museum, day.
Grace, it's a manhole cover.
Interior, the door of the museum, day.
Shepard, I need that 5 minutes of covering fire, starting now. Kelly, open up the manhole covers and be prepared to lead us into the sewer. Officer Armishaw will load the CIV casualties on the medevac flyer and depart RFQ. Marty, return to my location. You will lead the civs to Kelly while I cover your move. Questions? All right, let's get to the medevac flyer down here now.
Exterior, the museum north door, day. Montage. Grace and Marty step through the door and throw smoke grenades toward the two corners of the building. As the smoke pops, then billows, one of the helicopters lands, and Armishaw carries the female casualty onto the helicopter, and it lifts off. Shepard and Wolf continue to fire from the airborne helicopter. As the UN civs arrive with Marty at the manhole cover, they follow Kelly inside. Grace is in a prone position halfway between the museum door and the manhole, weapon at the ready. From the doorway of the building, we see a hand throw something. Pause.
Grenade!
We see the grenade on the ground.
Steve?
Covering fire on the doorway.
Marty fires at the doorway area. Grace gets up and crouch runs to the grenade. As he nears it, he scoops it up. Suddenly, there is a loud explosion. Angle on Marty. There is a concerned look on her face. End of Act 3. Act 4, Interior Rapier's Ready Room, day. Faustin and Essery are cleaning their weapons.
So, Bobby, there is history between you and Grace.
Yeah.
Pause.
So are you going to tell me? Or are you going to stand there smiling over your secret like a wide-eyed schoolgirl?
Okay. You're gonna like this, Carl. You see, our Mr. Goody Two-Shoes was forced out of the Canadian Army for season up under fire.
You pulling my Kickstarter, Essery?
Mm.
Because if you are, I'm gonna grab you by the back of your collar and piss down your neck!
Look, man, I was there. Grace was given a choice, resign his commission or face a court-martial.
And Grace chose to resign? Undamn believable.
Want to know who gave Grace the ultimatum?
Essery pauses again.
Are you gonna make me wait again?
It was Flint.
What? Security minister? How do you know this?
We were all there together in the Arctic fight against the Russians.
Well, doesn't this all just keep getting better and better?
In that case, here's another little tidbit for you. Grace's old man is a decorated fire chief out in southwestern Ontario. And when Grace resigned, he wasn't too delighted about Sonny Boy's cock-up.
So the leader of those damn Boy Scouts is not who and what people think he is? Thanks, Bobby. You're the kind of Canadian I like.
Interior, inside the sewer system, day. Grace and Marty, still masked, are moving at the front of the UN group, Marty in the lead. Just behind them is the leader of this group, Johan Kuhn. Marty stops at the T-junction.
Steve, we are at a T-junction here. Left or right?
6 of one, 6 of the other. Go left for 50 meters. If you have no luck with that, we'll try to take the other way.
I'm off.
Marty leaves.
Please, I have not had the opportunity yet to thank you, Mr.
Name's not important.
Well, I'm Johan Kuhn with the UN Monitoring Commission. Well, very grateful for what you have done.
You're welcome, Herr Kuhn.
Is there anything that we can do for you? Please.
No thanks.
Automatic fire resounds loudly in the tunnel.
Kelly,
Kelly comes running.
listen, we don't know what's behind us, so take the UN people to the right and see if you can find the tunnel exit. Wait for us 10 minutes. If we don't show, it's your ball game, Kelly. Go.
Grace pulls his weapon up to a shooting position, turns left and moves towards the gunfire. Interior, the tunnel, moments later. Grace comes upon Marty, sees her in a prone position, and kneels just behind her, worried about her.
You alright, Marty?
Pause.
Marty.
Yeah, I took one of the ballistic vests. Got a little winded.
That's gonna hurt a while.
Picked the wrong time to sign up for tango lessons.
How many baddies?
3, all gunners.
Grace pats her gently on the shoulder. She winces.
Good work, Marty. Let's go find the others.
Exterior, outside the sewer system, day. Everyone is milling around outside the sewer pipe that sits below an embankment.
Everyone's out of the tunnel, Steve.
Okay. I'm just gonna take a peek up over the embankment.
Grace moves up a short incline and cautiously looks over the top of the embankment. Then,
Shit.
What is it?
Contact front. 6 shooters with AKs and masks, 50 meters. You must have figured out we're using the sewer. The 2 of you get the civvies back into the sewer tunnel and move away from your RFQ. I'll hold the fort until...
automatic gunfire fills the air. Moments later, the heavy sound of helicopter rotor blades is heard. Exterior, near the area of the sewer system, day. Grace and Sabre team are standing beside silent helicopters, out of direct sight of others. 6 bad guys are on the ground, flex-cuffed, being taken care of by police. The UN people have left.
That was a little close to the bone, fellas.
Shepard wanted to stop for a pint before we came looking for you, Steve.
No big drama here. All timed out to the second. Except for those yobes over there, we didn't see anything else from the air.
Police got this, Marty.
Yeah.
Okay. And hey, thanks.
Interior, the office of Alan Flint, day. Flint, Bello, and Bobby Essery are sitting in Flint's office, an ongoing conversation.
And how are the Crossbow people treating you, Bobby?
Can't complain, Colonel.
But
But what?
I know you, Bobby. You were my operations officer, remember? There's something on your mind. Let's hear it.
Alright. The pay is good and I like the action, but Crossbow is ultimately a dead-end street for me.
You're looking for something more stable, something with a future.
Yes.
With me?
I was hoping.
How far are you willing to take this?
Tell me what you want.
I need to know what's going on with the Crossbow team and the security elements from an insider's perspective.
Not a problem.
I need someone to do black ops and wet work outside of the resources I currently control. Can you influence Faustine and the others on Rapier team?
Faustin's no fool, but his Achilles heel is money. You give me enough money, I'll get Faustin in line. The others will follow.
All right. And what do you want in return, Bobby?
Power and prestige in the government that I know you're going to set up when we've got Marcus and the others out of the way.
Flint smiles.
I love your ambition, Bobby. Consider it done. There's one more thing.
And what's that, Colonel?
Stephen Grace.
You want him taken out?
No!
Then what?
Humiliation, disgrace, and ultimately abandonment by everyone he cares about. Then, and only then, do we develop a fitting end to that insubordinate coward.
Interior Saber Team's ready room, day. The team is cleaning weapons as Grace enters.
Anything shaken over at the CP, Steve?
No new missions for us as of now.
Were they okay with our first day?
I didn't get any hugs, but I didn't get any aggravation either.
Wasn't expecting to get on anyone's love train, were we?
Smiles.
There was one thing though. Both teams will be getting police liaison officers.
What? How often will they check in?
They'll be with us for the duration.
Permanent police spies looking over our shoulders. Are you shitting me, Grace?
We can't afford to be briefing and debriefing the police before and after every action.
Oh, good Christ.
And we need to maintain our anonymity.
And you're going to trust some copper to keep the faith?
It's non-negotiable, Shepard.
Oh, bloody hell.
You want out? Say so now.
Shepard is sullen but says nothing.
You think you're not happy? Consider Faustein's reaction.
Which is?
His police LO is a woman.
End of Act 4. Tag. Interior, a bar, evening. Kelly is sitting at a bar drinking a beer, talking with a young man his age. Behind him on a television screen is a 24/7 news channel. On the screen we see a picture of Johann Kuhn and a caption at the bottom, Rescue at War Museum. Interior, a small bedroom, evening. Shepard is lying on his bed reading a book. He looks over at the muted television on a dresser and sees the same picture of Kuhn and the caption below. He smiles and returns to his book. We see the cover, The Complete History of the Irish Republican Army. Interior, a health club, evening. Marty has worked up a good sweat as she works over a heavy bag with punch combinations. As she punches, she winces. Interior, Saber Team's ready room, evening. Wolf is sitting at a desk with feathers, animal fur, and spools of thread in front of him. On a fly tying vise, he is working on a trout fly. The radio is playing a song by Robbie Robertson. Interior, Alexis Hood's apartment, evening. Sitting in front of a TV are Alexis and her Aunt Fran.
And so far, no one has claimed responsibility for the attack on the War Museum. Up next.
Aunt Fran mutes the TV with a remote.
I can't believe that things have gotten so bad. Every day it's bombings, assassinations, riots, kidnappings. What kind of human beings are capable of such a thing?
What are you saying, Aunt Fran?
Well, that I no longer know if I'm against capital punishment or not.
How can you say that?
Alex, can you truly tell me that you would be filled with the milk of human kindness and understanding if someone took Julie away and...
Julie enters.
Mama,
Yes, dear?
Mama, what's a mercenary?
Alex looks at Julie, then gets it.
Oh, I think you mean mercenary, Julie.
What is it?
Well, honey, a mercenary is someone who, it's someone who,
It's someone who takes money for being a soldier, but not from his own government, Julie.
Is a mercenary a bad man, Mama?
well, Julie,
I suspect that they're like the rest of us, kiddo. Some are good and some are bad.
Is Mr. Grace a bad man, Mama?
oh, Julie, Stephen Grace isn't a mercenary.
Interior, his room in the Crossbow compound, evening. Stephen Grace sits in a chair in front of a window, using a sharpening stone to put a fine edge on a commando fighting knife. He stops for a moment and looks out the window, impassive. End of pilot.